Florence, the capital of Tuscany. Zoom in on Piazza della Signoria. Zoom in on Michelangelo's David. Now behind the David stands Palazzo Vecchio, the Hall of Power. Let's go inside. As soon as we enter, we go up the internal staircase and we arrive at the first floor. We now enter the Salone del Cinquecento. And as soon as we enter, we take a leap back in time, not just because of the magic of the place, but because of the use of it in telling this story. The Salone del Cinquecento was built in just 7 months in 1495 and under the commendation of Savonarola, who was originally a friar from Ferrara in Emilia-Romagna, but who was in fact also the true lord of Florence. Savonarola wanted to establish a grand city council that would be open to as many Florentines as possible, to allow them to participate in everyday political decision-making, an experiment in direct democracy as we would define it today. But when the Medici family returned to power in 1537, the Salone del Cinquecento became the hall of representation for Duke Cosimo I, who then asked his most trusted visionary architect, Giorgio Vasari, to raise the ceiling a further 7 meters and to transform this Salone with an impressive expansion of 48 meters in length, 23 in width, and 18 meters in height, making it the largest hall in Italy for the management of power. It took Vasari 17 years to transform it, filling the ceiling with 42 coffered frames all refined with gold carvings, and 42 paintings with the depiction of the exaltation of Duke Cosimo, his work, and his family. And in the center, Duke Cosimo himself is represented. In one of the frames, there is a depiction of the geographical area of Chianti, which is adjacent to Florence. You can also see Bacchus standing next to a young man who's armed and carries a large shield with a black rooster on a yellow background. Now, the black rooster is the symbol for the ancient Chianti League, a political and military jurisdiction that was formed by 4 Florentine municipalities in an alliance against Siena. But how did a black rooster become the symbol for the Chianti League? To find this answer, we need to leap back even further in time to precisely 1208. After many years of war between the two cities of Siena and Florence, the decision was made that the border between the two republics would be at a point at which 2 knights, one from Siena and one from Florence, meet after having left their respective cities. They would also have to leave at the cawing of the rooster at dawn. So each city chose their best horse, their best rider, and even the best rooster to begin the competition. The selection was all certified by notaries from each of the rival cities. The Sienese chose a beautiful large white rooster, and they nurtured and cuddled it and loved it intensely the night before. But the Florentines, they acted with more extreme cunning. They chose a small black rooster, and the night before the event, locked it in an empty room, starving. So of course the little black rooster cawed long before dawn. The Sienese notaries obviously had to accept that the Florentine knight left with the cawing of the rooster, but also obviously long before the Sienese knight. The result was that both knights met in Fonterutoli, which is only 20 kilometers from Siena, considering that the distance between Siena and Florence is 70 kilometers. It is unknown if the story is true or not, but as it is, the Florentines tell it and the Sienese deny it. But the fact is that the area of Chianti definitively passed under the power of Florence, where the border was extended from Florence by 50 kilometers to Fonterutoli, and remains so to this day. And the black rooster became the symbol of the Florentine Chianti region. Now, the winemakers of this region were the first in the world to trace an entire territory of wine with the production of the Chianti Gallo Nero, the Chianti Black Rooster. And in 1987, the Consorzio del Vino Chianti Classico, the classical Chianti Wine Consortium was born, the largest consortium of wine in Italy, with over 600 associated wine producers and covering an area of approximately 7,200 hectares. In the last 30 years, Chianti wine has made an impressive name for itself internationally, but unfortunately and naturally, bad copies and replicas have multiplied. But to be able to distinguish the original, the classic Chianti wine, you only need to pay attention to the symbol of the little black rooster on the label. It'll be easier to remember this now that you know its history. Prost!